World War II left an indelible mark on humanity, claiming over 70 million lives. Imagine entire families wiped out, cities reduced to rubble, and nations forever changed. The Holocaust alone saw 6 million Jews murdered, a haunting reminder of the depths of human cruelty. Beyond the battlefield, the war displaced millions, creating a refugee crisis that reshaped borders and societies. Survivors faced not just physical scars, but psychological trauma, grappling with loss and rebuilding their lives in a shattered world. The consequences of this global conflict echo through generations, reminding us of the fragility of peace and the resilience of the human spirit. World War II reshaped the globe, leaving a trail of destruction that was staggering. Cities lay in ruins, with millions displaced and countless lives lost. Economically, the war devastated nations, but it also sparked innovation and recovery. The U.S. emerged as a superpower, transforming its economy through wartime production. Factories that once made cars now churned out tanks and planes, creating jobs and boosting the economy. Yet, the scars of war lingered, with countries grappling with debt and rebuilding efforts. The balance of power shifted, and the world learned that from destruction can come resilience and renewal.
World War II ended in 1945, but the real battle was just beginning. The Cold War emerged as the United States and the Soviet Union became locked in a tense standoff, each vying for global influence. It was a war of ideologies, capitalism versus communism, played out through espionage, propaganda, and proxy wars. The arms race escalated, with nuclear weapons becoming the ultimate symbol of power. Events like the Berlin blockade and the Cuban Missile Crisis brought the world to the brink of disaster. Yet, amidst the tension, cultural exchanges flourished, showcasing the resilience of humanity. The Cold War shaped the modern world, leaving a legacy that still influences international relations today. World War II was a turning point not just for nations, but for empires. As the war raged on, colonial powers like Britain and France were stretched thin, both militarily and economically. This vulnerability sparked a wave of decolonization across Asia and Africa. Countries like India and Indonesia seized the moment, pushing for independence. The war had shown that colonial rule could be challenged, and the ideals of self-determination gained momentum. By the late 1940s and 1960s, former colonies were emerging as new nations, reshaping the global landscape. The echoes of those struggles for freedom still resonate today, reminding us that the fight for autonomy is a powerful force in history.
World War II was a devastating conflict that reshaped the globe, but it also led to the birth of the United Nations in 1945. This organization was created to foster international cooperation and prevent future wars. Delegates from 50 countries gathered in San Francisco, driven by a shared vision of peace and security. The UN aimed to address global issues like human rights, economic development, and humanitarian aid. Its founding charter emphasized the importance of dialogue over conflict, a revolutionary idea at the time. Today, the UN continues to play a crucial role in diplomacy, striving to unite nations and promote a better world for all. After World War II, Germany was divided into 4 zones, each controlled by the Allies: the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and the Soviet Union. This division was meant to prevent future aggression, but it quickly became a symbol of the Cold War. In 1949, the Western zones merged to form West Germany, a democratic state, while the Soviet zone became East Germany, a communist regime. The Berlin Wall, erected in 1961, starkly separated families and ideologies. This division not only reshaped Germany, but also influenced global politics for decades, highlighting the struggle between freedom and oppression.
The Nuremberg trials were a groundbreaking moment in history, held from 1945 to 1946. They marked the first time leaders of a nation were held accountable for war crimes on an international stage. Imagine the tension in that courtroom as top Nazi officials faced charges of genocide, crimes against humanity, and waging aggressive war. Figures like Hermann Göring defended their actions, claiming they were just following orders. But the judges, representing the Allied powers, made it clear: following orders is no excuse for atrocities. The trials established key principles of justice, laying the groundwork for future international law and reminding us that accountability is essential, even for the most powerful. Adolf Hitler, the infamous leader of Nazi Germany, rose to power in the early 1930s, capitalizing on economic turmoil and national discontent. His aggressive expansionist policies led to the invasion of Poland in 1939, igniting World War II. Hitler's vision of a racially pure Aryan state fueled horrific atrocities, including the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were systematically murdered. His charismatic oratory captivated many, but his regime was marked by oppression and brutality. Ultimately, Hitler's ambition led to his downfall. As Allied forces closed in, he took his own life in 1945, leaving a legacy of devastation that still haunts the world today.
Winston Churchill, Britain's indomitable prime minister during World War II, was a master of oratory and strategy. His speeches rallied a nation, famously declaring, "We shall fight on the beaches." Churchill faced immense challenges, from the Blitz to the threat of Nazi domination. His tenacity and refusal to surrender inspired not just Britain, but the world. He forged crucial alliances, notably with Franklin D. Roosevelt, recognizing that unity was essential to defeat tyranny. Beyond politics, Churchill was a prolific writer and painter, showcasing a creative spirit that thrived even in the darkest times. His legacy is a testament to resilience and leadership in the face of adversity.
Franklin D. Roosevelt, often called FDR, was a pivotal figure during World War II. As the 32nd President of the United States, he led the nation through its greatest crisis. His New Deal policies helped lift America out of the Great Depression, but it was his leadership during the war that truly defined him. FDR forged strong alliances with leaders like Churchill and Stalin, emphasizing unity against the Axis powers. His famous fireside chats kept the public informed and engaged, fostering a sense of hope. Roosevelt's vision of a post-war world, encapsulated in the Four Freedoms, laid the groundwork for the United Nations. His legacy is a testament to resilience and the power of leadership in times of turmoil. Joseph Stalin, the enigmatic leader of the Soviet Union, played a pivotal role in World War II. Rising to power after Lenin's death, he transformed the USSR into a formidable military force. His brutal tactics, including the Great Purge, eliminated dissent but also consolidated his grip on power. During the war, Stalin's leadership was crucial in turning the tide against Nazi Germany, especially during the brutal Battle of Stalingrad. This victory marked a significant shift as Soviet forces began pushing westward, ultimately capturing Berlin in 1945. Stalin's legacy is a complex mix of resilience and ruthlessness, shaping the course of history in ways that still resonate today. Dwight D. Eisenhower, a five-star general, played a pivotal role in World War II as the supreme commander of Allied forces in Europe. He orchestrated the D-Day invasion, a massive operation that turned the tide against Nazi Germany. Eisenhower was known for his calm demeanor and strategic brilliance, balancing the diverse interests of Allied leaders like Churchill and Stalin. After the war, he became the 34th President of the United States, promoting peace and prosperity during the Cold War. His leadership style emphasized collaboration and planning, proving that unity can conquer even the greatest challenges. World War II leaders shaped the course of history in profound ways. Winston Churchill's indomitable spirit rallied Britain during its darkest hours, while Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal policies transformed the U.S. into a wartime powerhouse. On the other side, Adolf Hitler's ambition led to unimaginable destruction, leaving a legacy of horror and a stark warning against totalitarianism. Meanwhile, Joseph Stalin's brutal tactics solidified the Soviet Union's role as a superpower, but at a tremendous human cost. Each leader's choices echo through time, reminding us of the complexities of power, sacrifice, and the enduring quest for peace.